Philly, something massive is brewing behind the scenes, and you can feel the tension rolling through this city like a cold wind off the river. A developing situation involving a major piece of this roster has fans arguing in bars, lighting up group chats, and demanding answers nobody seems ready to give. The mood is heavy, the uncertainty is real, and the ripple effects could shake the entire direction of this team if things unfold the way insiders are whispering. This might become one of the most defining moments of the upcoming offseason, and it's time to lock in. So smash subscribe, hit like, and stay right here because the real story is about to unfold for you right now. I need to start with the man whose name has been echoing through every corner of this fanbase, the man whose future in Philadelphia somehow feels both indispensable and completely up in the air, A.J. Brown. And believe me when I say this, I don't toss around the word Blockbuster lightly, but the idea of the Eagles even thinking about trading Brown sends a shockwave through my system. I look at the production, the dominance, the 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and I ask myself how we even arrived at this crossroads. But then I look at the sideline frustrations, the penalties, the contract numbers, and suddenly the picture becomes a whole lot murkier. I'm not saying I like it. I'm saying I can't ignore it, and neither can the Eagles if they're being honest about the direction of this franchise. What really gets me is how these narratives catch fire. 1 minute A.J. Brown is the emotional heartbeat of this offense, the guy who can take over a game with a single explosive slant or contested grab, and the next minute people are whispering about his malaise, his criticism of teammates, and how those 7 penalties paint a bigger picture. I watch him closely, and I see a competitor who wants to win so badly that sometimes it combusts into frustration. But when that frustration becomes public, the franchise starts asking tough questions. And now, with 2026 looming, those questions are getting louder. The Eagles know they have a weapon, but they also know they have a contract eating at their cap, and sometimes those realities collide whether you want them to or not. And then there's the San Francisco 49ers, looking like the kid at the auction who doesn't bid early but shows up just in time to win the whole thing. The moment I saw their name tied to A.J. Brown, something clicked. Brandon Ayuk heading out the door, John Jennings possibly joining him, and Brock Purdy needing that bona fide WR1 who can dominate in a Shanahan scheme built for yards after the catch. It makes too much sense, almost uncomfortably so. And when you mention Sam Okwuegbunam, yes, Sam Okwuegbunam, the rotational edge rusher who's quietly become a disruptive presence, plus a first-rounder and a conditional pick, suddenly we're talking about a trade package that isn't fantasy, it's feasible. I'm not endorsing it. I'm saying the Eagles would at least pick up the phone. But let me tell you what keeps gnawing at me every time I imagine Brown in another uniform: identity. The Eagles built this offense around Jalen Hurts, and Hurts found his swagger in part because Brown arrived and turned every 50-50 ball into 70-30. Brown changes coverages. Brown dictates defensive game plans. Brown forces coordinators to pick their poison between him and Devonta Smith. You don't just replace that with a draft pick and a rotational pass rusher, no matter how promising. Yet I can't ignore the financial reality. Moving him would clear cap space, allow the Eagles to retool, and give Howie Roseman the kind of flexibility he thrives on. That's the tension, the heart versus the head, and right now they're in a heavyweight fight. So here's where I land after wrestling with this from every angle. Trading A.J. Brown would hurt. It would sting the locker room, shock the fanbase, and force Jalen Hurts into yet another recalibration season. But I also understand why the conversation exists, why it refuses to go away, why the team might choose long-term stability over short-term comfort. And that brings me to you, because this decision isn't just about strategy. It's about what kind of team the Eagles want to be. Do you believe Philadelphia should cash in now while Brown still has peak value, or should they double down on keeping one of the best receivers in franchise history no matter the cost? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join this Eagles community as we tackle every twist of this wild offseason together.